Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this midweek edition of the Glory Glory My Night podcast. And we are here to preview Manchester United against Chelsea, which is coming up on 5:30 on Saturday evening. Sorry, so used to Sunday kickoffs. Um, so we've got lots to say ahead of this game, especially after the embarrassing defeat in the Manchester Derby, and we want to see some changes. I certainly do, and I'll be getting Orest's thoughts on that. So, welcome to the show, Orest. It's great to have you along tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, so um, I feel as if the formation is totally failing the squad. It's not getting the best out of the tools that Amorim has. Sure, we didn't buy any wing backs in the transfer windows in January or in the summer. Um, I feel as if Bruno Fernandes is being played out of position. I feel as if Amad Diallo is being played out of position, and they were our two best players from last season. And what Amorim is doing this season is hampering those players and nullifying them and making it easier for the opposition to shut us down. I mean, look at Bruno didn't follow Smith Rowe against Fulham when he scored the equaliser for them. He didn't follow Phil Foden when he scored the opener against us, but that's not his job. It's not his instinct to defend. He's not a number 6 or a number 8. He's a number 10. So I kind of half don't blame him for not picking up runs because it's not his game. He, Amrim decided in conjunction with Jason Wilcox to sign two number 10s. Now I'm absolutely thrilled to have Mambumo and Kuna at the club. But we really needed to strengthen in centre midfield more, to be honest, Orest. How do you see it?
Yeah, I agree. Because the thing is, with the 3-4-3, or well, I don't know why I'm saying 3-4-3, because we don't play with three defenders with the five. Obviously, Baleba was the one that was going a lot in the summer. That didn't happen. Brighton obviously told us to just piss off because they're not going to sell him. Yeah, I'm quite disappointed because now we're forcing Bruno to play deeper in the deeper role where he doesn't want to play in the deeper role. You can see it by his body language. I saw it against in that Manchester derby where he just didn't want to play in that deeper role. So we're forcing players to play positions where they don't want to play, and that's not good for me because like we're playing players where they're unhappy. Like, I'm pretty sure Ahmad's unhappy at playing right wing back as well. So it's quite disappointing to be fair, because we let Ericsson go on the free. We didn't quite replace him, so I'm disappointed to be fair. But Mbama and Cunha are additions, but it was not enough. It was not enough for us in the summer. We needed more legs in that midfield.
Yeah, it's an area that really needed strengthening. Ugarte has flattered to deceive. Casemiro was long past his best, and we really needed to get legs in that midfield, and we haven't done that. Um, yeah, and you mentioned Ahmad there. You don't want Ahmad picking the ball up 60 yards from the opposition goal. You want him running at the fullback or the central defender, just outside the penalty area or inside the penalty area. You know, you're totally wasting that player, and his instincts are not defensive either. So he's just putting square pegs into round holes, and it's not working. Rather than solving our problems, Amarim, he's creating more, isn't he? It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, he is. He's creating more problems, and obviously with Almond, the thing with him is he's got his one way or the no way, obviously with his system, so he's not going to change it. He said it interviews after interviews that he's not going to change. So he's creating problems for himself, and he's creating problems in the dressing room as well. So yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't look like, judging by what he's saying, that he's going to change his formation anytime soon. He's saying, if you want me to change my formation, I will do so when I feel I want to. If not, you have to change the man, he says. So what he means is change the manager. Um, and I feel as if he's gonna he's gonna die on this hill. He's going to keep doing it. We're not going to get results. Um, and I feel as if eventually he's going to be sacked. Um, we really need a win badly in this home game against Chelsea. He cannot afford another defeat in a big game here. Um, if we lose this, then I would fear for us away to Brentford. I can easily see United slipping up in that game. They have in the past. And then the way Sunderland are playing, I wouldn't back United to definitely get 3 points in that game. So Amorim really needs 7 points from these three games going into the international break. If it is low as 3 or 4 points or worse, then I could see him being sacked during the international break. Orest, how do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, look, this Saturday against Chelsea, I mean, they've not beaten us at Old Trafford in, what, 12 years or 13 years? So listen, that's a record you do not want to break. But yeah, listen, he's got 3 games for international break. Obviously, you mentioned Chelsea, then Sunderland, then Brentford, Sunderland. I mean, Brentford away. I know these United players love to fold against Brentford and away. So yeah, he needs 6, 7 points max. If anything lower than that, then if he either gets sacked or he'll probably walk. So yeah, he must get points at 6.
Yeah, there is the possibility that he could walk. He has obviously, you know, offered his resignation at Sporting a few times apparently, and he's done so at United at least once last season anyway. And he's talked about, even he's even hinted at resigning in press conferences that he's done this season, which is remarkable, really. It'd be very unusual for a manager at this level to forfeit his compensation money. Mourinho has made over 100 million euros from being sacked. It'd be remarkable if Amorim decided that he was going to walk and not take the money. But you'd have to admire him for that. That would be very principled of him to just walk away if he felt that he wasn't the right man for the job and not take the 12 million payoff. I believe that, yeah, he will be owed 12 million if they sack him within the first year. But if they get over the anniversary of his arrival, then it'll be significantly less than 12 million. So I hope they're not just going to hold out for that. I hope they're not going to hold out for mid-November so they don't have to pay him as much. We can't allow the team to rot. I mean, this club is dying. I mean, since he took over, he's took charge of 31 Premier League games. He's got 8 wins, seven draws and 16 defeats. Um, if you if you include all 17 teams that have been in the Premier League in that time, so we're not including the teams that were relegated last season. If you include all the games, if you include the table of those 17 consistent teams that were in the league, Man United and Amorim are bottom of the table right now. That is absolutely appalling. That is relegation form. And some people are even saying if Amorim was to stay to the end of the season, we will be relegated this time. Because you know Sunderland look decent, and Leeds might stay up as well. So there's no three terrible teams to save us on this occasion. We will go down if we keep him to the end of the season. Some people are saying.
Even Sunderland are better than us. So yeah, I'm scared because Sunderland look better than us. Leeds, I mean, can't say Leeds are better than us, but listen, I could say any team are better than us, but yeah, I mean,
I mean, we lost to
relegation could,
Grimsby.
could happen, but yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Um, but if this relegation means Glazers will leave, then I'm taking it any day, anything.
yeah, I've heard that debate before. Yeah, I would take it too, to be honest. If relegation meant the end of the Glazers, I think probably 90% of the fan base would take that because their feeling against the Glazers is so strong. Um, but I think Amorim will be sacked long before it gets to that stage. Um, I feel like he's teetering on the brink already. Um, I mean, what we're hearing is that Ineos's ambitions is Europe at the very least, and at the very most, they're expecting Champions League football. So they're hoping that United are going to finish in and around fourth to sixth. Uh, United are nowhere near that at the moment. So to me, Amorim is going to be sacked at some point between now and Christmas. And if results continue on the current pattern, it ain't going to be too long before they get rid of him. Um, to me, he needs to change his formation to save himself, which he's consistently said that he won't do. Now, if it was me and I was choosing the lineup against Chelsea, I would go with 4-3-3. I would pick Lemens in goal, a flat back four of Mozrahi, Yarrow, Delict, and Dorgu, a midfield three of Ugarte, Menu, and Bruno Fernandes, and across the front, it's obvious Mimbumo, Sesko, and Kuna. For me, if Amorim played that formation on that lineup, he would get better results. Now, I don't think we would, we're going to absolutely blow the Premier League away. We've still got holes in the team, um, notably at left back and in centre midfield. But I think that team would get better results. Certainly would improve on his current win ratio and get us further up the table. But he ain't going to do that. He's going to persist with the wing backs and this ridiculous three centre backs. It's just not working. Um, is that the team that you would pick as well, Orest?
Uh, yeah, that's the team I'd pick. But my only concern, I know a lot of fans are saying to switch the formation to four at the back, but like we've had managers like Mourinho, Ole. They played the four back and they've all got the sack. So, for me, I don't think this team is bad. Like if if you had a good coach and obviously 4-3-3, I think this team would get something. But yeah, that's the team I'd pick. I don't know if Cunha's fit for the game on Saturday, but yeah, that's the lineup I'd pick. Maybe I'd make one change, maybe put Casemiro and Mainu, then Bruno. But yeah, um, hopefully we see Lamens and not Bayern because I'm hoping that's the last time we see Bayern the last time.
Yeah, that's another hill that Amram seems determined to die on, is the goalkeeper thing. Now, I didn't think Bayern made any really glaring errors against City on when I watched the game live. He nearly gave the ball away in the first few minutes of the game and got away with it. But having watched it back and seen the analysis and all, yeah, and Peter Schmeichel's analysis in particular, he went to ground too early for the one-on-one with Haaland. He didn't stand his ground there, which Schmeichel pointed out. Schmeichel said he would have relished that one-on-one with Haaland. Yeah, so Amorim, Bayern just a very poor goalkeeper. He didn't have any. There was no calamities from corners in that game, but yeah, he didn't cover himself in glory with any of those goals. And obviously, remember he took he was trying to pass the ball out and he slipped and he kicked the ball nearly straight to a City attacker, and he made a slight tackle then to try and recover the situation. Yeah, he's just an absolute clown, isn't he? He is just not fit to be Manchester United's number one, and the sooner Lemens comes in, the better. He couldn't possibly do any. I know he's only a kid and he's only played in the Belgian Pro League, but he couldn't possibly do any worse than what we've had in the last couple of seasons.
No, he can't. There's no chance he can be worse than Nana Bayern. But again, I don't really trust this fan base because I think Laman's 23, 24. So yeah, we've got to give him be patient with him. But I'm hoping he starts on Saturday. And, the last one I've seen by him. But yeah, Lamens, I think we're all looking forward to him. But it's just the patience from the United fans that we can give him.
Yeah, and I can see where you're coming from when you said you might pick Casemiro in midfield instead of Ugarte. Ugarte hasn't really set the world alight since he came to United. Been very, very disappointing. You can see why PSG were happy to let him go. 50 million seems a terrible waste of money now. And the fact that Casemiro, had been playing most of the games this season until the City game tells you all you need to know about Ugarte. Ugarte didn't even play in the Europa League final, so he's not exactly in favour with Amorim or the fans at the moment. Um, Yeah, so we can understand you picking Casemiro there. Manu, how does he not get a kick for this United team? Is it for how like think of all the brilliant goals that he scored under Ten Hag and Amorim in big games, big performances, got United out of holes. He played for England in the Euros final against Spain, and he can't get into this United team. That's absolutely absurd for me. Um, I just don't get it. It's another decision that where the manager totally baffles me. He's one of your best players. He has to be in your starting 11. But for some reason, the manager has said that he's competing with Bruno for one spot, and obviously Bruno is going to play every game. So, and to be honest, the midfield three would suit all the midfielders that we have. Casemiro would get more protection. Um, so would Ugarte. He would thrive in a midfield three more so than he does in a two. Menu, he doesn't as great as he is technically. You know, he's not great with. He doesn't have great pace. He can't cover the ground well, and obviously Bruno is just not suited to playing in a deep role. So I feel a midfield three suits everybody, regardless of who you select. But Amorim again, he just won't do it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. But with Maine, is a funny one because he's probably our best ball carrier midfielder, and I've seen Amram says that he's got plans for him. And I mean, what plans are you talking about? Because if Ugarte is ahead of him, that's concerning for me. So he always says that he's got plans for him. He's competing with Bruno, but I don't know because I can really see Mainu trying to force himself out to leave the club. I mean, he tried to do it this summer, and United said no. United said no, you're gonna stay. So, but if he doesn't start anytime soon in our next three games, then I could see him trying to think of a move in January. So he's got to start. He's our best ball carrier midfielder. So I just don't see it from Amrin.
Yeah. To be honest, I would rather lose Amorim than Manu. That I feel very strongly about that. Mm, this manager has done nothing to convince me that he's going to turn this around, and I would not be sacrificing one of our best young talents for to suit this manager. Um, yeah, I know you're saying there that Menu will look to leave on loan again in January if he doesn't get any game time, but I don't think Amorim will even last to January. And assuming they don't bring in Glasner, the new manager will probably shift to a four at the back and three in midfield, and then Menu will probably get a chance. It always works this way in football, where a player who doesn't get a look in under a certain manager, but he's very talented in the eyes of the fan base. Whenever that manager is replaced, then that player comes into the team, and I can see that happening with Menu. To me, it's only a case of when Amorim gets sacked. I mean, we've seen this movie so many times with Ten Hag and Solskjaer, Mourinho and Van Gaal and Moyes. We know when a manager is just not getting results, and honestly, Amorim is the worst manager statistically there has been so far out of all of them. I just reamed off the stats earlier in terms of 8 wins in 31 games. And I think we've all been here before when the manager reaches that point of no return. I felt it was, some people felt it was the Europa League final that Amorim was was not going to be the man after that. But for others, it was Grimsby. And I think more and more people are feeling that way after the Derby humiliation. I just don't think that he's going to succeed at United. I don't see a situation where he turns this around. I mean, he hasn't even won 2 games in a row. That's absolutely absurd. I don't see a situation where he turns this around and United qualify for the Champions League this season. It ain't going to happen. We're going nowhere near it. And I think he'll be sacked in the next few weeks. How do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking out for the United strands. His hair is going to be absolutely funny, but I mean, if United do something, if we can win back to back, that'll be nice. But yeah, I mean, considering the fact that we have not won back to back, that's a concerning stat. That's really concerning. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm with you. I don't think he's here when January comes in. I don't think he's here. So because we have another international break in October, and that gives obviously the board time to find replacements. So yeah, if we don't start winning back-to-back games, our fans will be frustrated, demand Armin to get sacked, and then the board and Ineos will be obviously they'll look at the results and say, you know what, time's done. But then again, if Ineos do sack Armin, that's another mistake. What they done with Tenag by keeping another manager for another season and obviously having to spend more money. So that is ridiculous because we spent tens of lots of money. Obviously, Dan Ashworth now with Armin if he does get sacked. So yeah, I mean, look, I'm just seeing how the games go game by game, but we need to start winning 2 games in a row. Maybe we can win 5 for United Shrine.
Yeah, um, it's difficult to see United winning one game, never mind two in a row. Difficult to see United scoring a goal, never mind winning a game. Uh, this season, I only we've got one goal from a United player from open play, and that was when Boom's goal against Burnley. I think our top scorer is own goals. So that's how pathetic it is, and you know, and I'm so bored of all these stats about United have had the most shots in the Premier League. United have had the most touches in the opposition box in the Premier League this season. The only one stat that counts, and that's the scoreline. Uh, the only thing that matters is who puts the ball in the onion bag, and we're just not doing that. So I don't care about how many chances we're creating, how many touches we have in the opposition's box. We have to score goals, and we're not doing it. And you know, and that brings me on to Sesko. You know, Hoyland already since he left United, he scored for Denmark, he scored for Napoli, and he's looking confident again. Sesko has now become Hoyland, this isolated front man who gets no service and is being ridiculed by opposition fans. I just hope that things can change quickly and we can get a new formation and create chances for the centre forward before his confidence is ruined completely. Because yeah, Sesko's starting to look like the mirror image of Hoyland last season, isn't he, Orest?
Yeah, I mean, look, we know the strike at United isn't easy to play, especially when we don't have the midfield to provide our strikers chances. Then they're going to struggle. And Sesko, that's this player, right? I can see something in him, but like we need the service for him. That's the problem. He needs to have service because he's tall, and we need those crosses in the box. And this 3-4-3 or 5-2-3 is not going to work. So we need to change it. First things first, change formation. Make sure the crosses are going to our strikers, and
Mm.
provide them chances.
Yeah, because one thing I noticed against City was United were trying to cross the ball to Sesko, but the crosses were either under hit or they were well over his head. You know, it was absolutely diabolical. So I feel sorry for the guy. You know, already we're only 4 league games in already. I'm feeling sorry for him because opposition fans are loving this. Arsenal fans because they got Gyökeres instead of Shesko, and Newcastle who rejected in favour of Man United, they're absolutely loving every second of this. And Newcastle and Arsenal fans are blaming Shesko, which is nonsense because this is not his fault. He's getting absolutely no service. He's only started one game as well. Like people are saying he's played 4 games, he scored no goals. He was a sub in most of them. He's only started one game. And uh, yeah, I'm looking at the manager here. He's setting up the striker to fail and getting zero service to him. I mean, and Bruno Fernandes would probably create the most chances for Sesko if he was played in the right position, and he's way back in a defensive role. Absolutely absurd. The manager does himself no favors whatsoever. Um, so probably going to be the same 3-4-3 again. Um, um, but the question is Mount and Kuna going to come back in for this match? Um, as well as Mount has done so far, I would rather play with a centre forward than play with him if there has to be a choice between the two. And Kuna, I feel that he's whilst he hasn't got the goal so far, to me he's been United's best player so far this season. Some people might say Mbeumo, and I would disagree with that, but I think Kuna has looked even more dangerous than Mbeumo in the games that he's played. Um, just he's brilliant to watch. So brilliant on the turn. Um, he covers ground so quickly, goes past people. Um, yeah, he's had shots that have hit the post and been saved by the keepers. He's got very close to scoring, and yeah, to me, he's United's most dangerous player. I want to see him back in the team. So hopefully he's fit and ready to go in this match. Now, with regards to Chelsea, uh, we're going to see a quick return for Alejandro Garnacho in only his second game for Chelsea. The one thing we're all fearing here is that he's going to score against United and celebrate. Is that your biggest fear in this game, Orest?
I mean, if Garnacho does score against us, then I wouldn't be surprised. But that's probably one of my worst nightmares ever. Seeing Garnacho scoring against us in Old Trafford, 80k fans. Surely it can't happen. It cannot happen. But if he does score, then it just shows us how bad we are. So all I'm saying is, just don't let him score, win the game. But yeah, I'm fearing for Garnacho because I think he might start because I saw the lineup there when Chelsea played Bayern Munich, and they didn't start Garnacho, so he could be playing them on Saturday night. I know what Chelsea manager might be doing this, so yeah, it should be interesting.
Yeah, Goretzka might pick him because he might feel that he's going to be extra motivated in this game, um, to prove Amorim wrong. So I could see him starting for that reason. Um, it's still very strange seeing him in that all blue kit. Uh, so used to him playing for United. Um, but hopefully he does what he did against Brentford and loses his man at the back post and gives us a free goal. Yeah, he was probably not the man you want defending the back post. Um, and it cost Chelsea the points in that game. But yeah, wouldn't surprise me at all if he scored. And I think he's going to celebrate, because I think the fans will boo him because of the antics on social media and stuff. And you know, wearing that Aston Villa shirt with Rashford on the back and all that stuff. And his brother is a real annoyance on social media. So I think because of that, the fans will boo him. It's not his fault that Amorim decided he didn't want him. Don't think the fans would boo him for that. He had to go somewhere. Um, but the antics on social media is a bit unsavory at times, and it's very immature, really. So I could see it. I don't think 70,000 people will boo him, but I think it'll be audible. There'll be like 20,000 or people or so will boo him, like, and then he'll respond to that if he scores by celebrating. I would think so. I don't think he's going to be. He doesn't strike me as one of those players that scores against his former club and then holds his hands up, apologising. I just don't see that happening. Do you?
No, no, no. He's not Ronaldo. He's not Ronaldo. So yeah, he's if he scores, he's probably gonna do his Ronaldo celebration. Or just I wouldn't be surprised if he does the shush celebration. So yeah, he might do a very toxic celebration to us. So yeah, I just hope he does not score. Just please, when we have a corner or free kick, just leave your mind open and let us score.
Could you imagine if he scored and he does that celebration where he sits on the advertising hoardings and folds his arms? He'd be getting pelters coming from the crowd.
That would be funny.
There'd be bottles and coins coming from all directions. I don't think he'd be brave enough to do that. That'd be really provocative now. Um, so as you say, we don't want to lose our long unbeaten record at home to Chelsea. Yeah, we tend to at least draw or and sometimes win our home games against Chelsea. I remember a couple of seasons ago, McTominay got 2 goals against Chelsea in one game. We won that 2-1. I think last season we drew. I think Moise Caicedo scored and Bruno scored a penalty. Yeah, I remember going back even to the days of Chicharito and him scoring against Chelsea at home. And yeah, we have a we remember the game where Torres missed an open goal at Old Trafford for Chelsea. Remember that one? Yeah. So we don't want to give up that record of always beating Chelsea at Old Trafford, or at least drawing. Um, that would be another record that tumbles, and so many of them have happened in recent years, and more of them under Amarim. He's so many unwanted records falling, and for the unbeaten record at home to Chelsea to go would be another disaster for the coach. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Um, so I'm going to get to our score predictions then. I think that it'll be a draw. I think it'll both teams will score. Um, I'm going to go for a 2 each draw. Chelsea, as good as they can be, and as good as the forward players that they have, like Cole Palmer and Pedro Neto, and good strikers there as well, and obviously Enzo Fernandez. I just think they tend to let in goals as well, and they'll give us chances. So if especially if Kuna is playing, I think United will draw this game at least. So I'm going to be optimistic and go for a 2 each draw. I don't see United winning this, and I don't think we'll lose that unbeaten record to Chelsea. How do you see it then, Orest?
Yeah, I don't see a winning, but I see a draw. I don't think we'll lose, but I hope not. But I'm seeing a 1-1 draw. I think I think it'll be similar to last season, but I think we score first and then Chelsea scores. So yeah, I think we give away silly goal. So yeah, but I hope we win. I really hope we win because I look at the weakness. I don't rate Chelsea's defense. I think we can. That's something that we can target at. But then again, do we have the players to target them when we don't have a midfield? Who knows? But yeah, 1-1 for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think Chelsea's defense is quite weak, and I think their goalkeeper is dodgy as well. Um, I know our goalkeeper that Amorim picks is quite dodgy, so that kind of evens itself out. Um, I can see goals coming from mistakes at both ends. Mm, you're going for 1-1. I'll go for 2-2. I think there'll be plenty of drama in this game and goals. Cole Palmer, I think, will probably score. He's back to fitness again, and I think I go for Kuna to score for United if he plays, and Mbeumo to get the other one. If not, it'll be a Bruno penalty. I would love to see Shesko get off the mark, but we're just not providing him with enough service in this system. We need to get Bruno closer to Shesko um, to provide him with more service. And the crosses from Dorgu are absolutely diabolical. No wonder Shesko isn't getting any chances. I mean, isn't it a ridiculous situation that Dorgu is our senior left winger, and he's 20, and Diego Leon is second choice, and he's 18. If anything, Dorgu should be the understudy to a senior left wing back, whereas he's meant to be the main man, and he came in from Lecce, who finished like 18th or something in Serie A. I mean, you're asking too much of the guy. And yeah, so I'm not surprised that he's been very up and down with his form, and he looks like a player that has a lot of holes to his game. You know, he's very tenacious, and he gets stuck in, and he's got plenty of energy, but you can see that his quality in the final third is leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's Armour's main left wing back. He wants him to do everything because obviously he's 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 the one that we're relying on crosses into the box. So yeah, and I feel bad for the kid man because I think Borg is a right player. I don't think he's bad, but again, it's just crosses that needs to be working. But again, it's not his fault because it's the system that Amrin's telling him to do that. So yeah, but I do think he's a decent player. But again, we didn't even go on the market find some fullbacks. So that's one problem that we didn't do.
Yeah, and and you got Ahmad and Mbumo playing on the other side, and they're both left-footed players playing on the right. Like the player that's providing the overlapping run needs to be right-footed, in my opinion. You can't have two left-footers out on that side. I know Ahmad plays the 10 against City, but overall he's been playing as a wing back. Don't know if Dallow's going to be fit for this game or not, but even if he is, um, he is not good enough to play as a wing back. Mazrahi again is more of a defender, so that's not ideal. Um, yeah, to me, the fact that the club didn't invest in wing backs, it tells me that they're not sure about Amorim. They're leaving it open to being able to change manager that will managers that will play a different system. You know, um, they're not all in with the wing back system because they didn't buy any, so they're leaving open the possibility of changing to a manager that'll play a 4-3-3. That's the way I'm reading it anyway. How do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, maybe the board didn't want to buy Belabor as well. We could say the same thing about Belabor. Like maybe the board don't trust Amrin with his formation, but then again, if the board didn't don't trust him, they would have sacked him by the summer. But yeah, um, I can see why. I can see a part of that. Maybe thinking that Ineos don't have 100% faith in Amrin, but obviously we've seen online that Ineos do and support Amrin. So yeah, and then again, we're still seeing leaks in the dressing room. Surprise, surprise, but yeah. But yeah, part of that could be why we didn't get fullbacks.
Yeah, just on Baleba, all the speculation linking him to United has done him absolutely no favors. He's performed quite poorly for Brighton this season so far, and he's been substituted in a few of those games. And the manager, the very young coach there at Brighton, who's even younger than me, I think, uh, has said that he has been distracted and he needs to regain his focus after all the links to United. So United have unsettled the player there, and he's not looking himself at the moment. Of course, if he wants to maintain United's interest, then he needs to get back to his best and back to the form that attracted United in the first place. Um, but what we've been hearing is that Ineos are willing to go all in for a midfielder in January. They feel as if we need that midfielder to get us the Champions League spot, then they're willing to invest heavily in getting one in January. In that case, why didn't they just get him in the summer? Because it's going to be in the same financial year.
Yeah, for me, I don't know why they didn't get him. But again, I think for January they're probably going to panic buy and get Belabor. So they should have done it early on the summer, and maybe we would have a better start to the season. So that's another thing that brought in Belabor in the summer. But yeah, January they wanna buy midfield now. So yeah, not surprised.
Mm. But hopefully not at the expense of Kobe Manu. I don't want him going out for another midfielder coming in. Um, it's hard enough to watch Garnacho playing for one of our rivals. We certainly don't want Manu to be playing for one of our rivals as well. Um, yeah, I think the midfield in 2026 needs to be totally rebuilt. Casemiro obviously will his contract expires. Ugarte, huge question marks over him. But we've just learned in recent days that Ugarte could have left in the summer. There was interest, and United considered selling him. I'm not surprised to hear that, to be honest. And then Bruno, I would say El Nasser or one of the Saudi clubs will come in for him again next year, so he could be moved on. And so it leaves room for the midfield to be totally rebuilt. Baleba probably one of them, and then maybe Adam Wharton or the German guy at Stuttgart we've been linked with. There's obviously a few other possibilities. So yeah, I would be bringing in at least two midfielders in 2026. Orest, is that what you would do?
Yeah, I want two midfielders. I don't want only one. I think we need two. Um, I think your points are valid there because Casemiro's legs, we're probably going to offload him next summer. So I think two midfielders is valid. Two midfielders that have legs, energy, and are willing to carry the ball. So I think one midfielder is not enough. I think two should be fine. But again, I don't know because with the ball, they probably think Baleba can do everything, and that's it. So yeah.
Yeah. So at which point, if the Chelsea game goes badly and Brentford goes badly, and at which point do you think that the board will pull the trigger?
Um, I think I think it will be Liverpool game, um, which I believe that's after international break, or
Yeah.
yeah, it's either after. Yeah, so I mean, Liverpool game is the nail in the coffin. But we've seen it before. Mourinho
Yeah. So many of the post Ferguson United managers have been sacked shortly after losing to Liverpool. Same with Mourinho, Solskjaer, Van Gaal. Yeah, they've all suffered a loss to Liverpool, which has resulted in them being sacked shortly after. So hopefully it doesn't get to that with Amorim. I can't take another drubbing at Anfield. So if it's going badly before that, then I think we should change the coach during the international break and hopefully get the new manager bounce at Anfield. That would be much better. Um, yeah, Orest, I was just saying there that
Sorry.
it would be if things go badly between now and the international break. I think that would be the time then to change the manager and hopefully get a new manager bounce at Anfield. That's what we want. We don't want going into that game with a lot of bad results under Amorim, with Amorim then still in charge, because then it could be another drubbing, which we've seen under Ten
Yeah,
Hag. Um, Now I know we did well at Anfield last season and should have won the game, but it's difficult to see United doing that twice in a row. Um, yeah, that's one thing that I forgot to mention tonight is that the difference that Licha Martinez makes to this team. If you, especially in big games, now he assisted the winner against City last season. He scored at Anfield. He scored the winner against Fulham. Um, he was he assisted the winner against Rangers in that December January period last year. He was pivotal to us at both ends of the pitch, and we've really missed him. He's like a quarterback, isn't he? So immediately he would make us a better team when he comes back in. But United are taking their time with this, and I understand that because he's had 3 serious injuries. But what an important player he is, Orest.
yeah, he's important because obviously he saves us from watching either Mazraoui Dalot playing right centre back, or left centre back. So he saves us. I like him. I like Lisandro Martinez, but again, I think it's the injuries that have been killing him. He had three big injuries. I think he's had to do operation on a few, which is a bit tough. But yeah, um, here's what it is. But I think when he comes back, I think United fans are going to see the importance of Lisandro Martinez and a big reason why we have missed him because he is key for me. Because he's got some of his. I think he's got a few. Sometimes he's had assists where he's made that one long pass to either Bruno or someone, and yeah, I think it's very very important for us.
Yeah, he's vital to us at both ends of the pitch. Now there has been some suggestions that he could play in midfield. Again, he doesn't have the legs to get around, which would be required in a midfield too. So again, if you were thinking about playing Martinez as a number six, you would have to play a midfield three, which this manager's not going to do. There's no way he would have the legs to cover the ground in the midfield too. It would just be so unfair on him. Yeah, but assuming he comes back and plays in defence, that's absolutely massive for United. Um, and hopefully this is the last of his serious injuries. I think he's a bit like Vidic. in that he gets these injuries. They're impact injuries because he's full blooded. He's not afraid of a tackle, and then the you know he clashes with another player and then injures his knee or his leg or his ankle, and then that's him out. I think he broke his metatarsal as well at one stage. So yeah, they're impact injuries from him being a full-blooded player, and you know, unfortunately, that's what used to happen to Vidic as well. He'd pick up knocks because he would fly into challenges, and yeah, I just hope this is the end of his injuries when he comes back here, and he would play a vital role. He gets, I think he's that good with his creation from the back that he could save the manager's skin. That's how important I think he is to United. You just, as I said, you just need to look back at that December January period before he got injured on February the 1st, and just see how many goals that he played a role in. And he's a defender. Yeah, uh, such an important player for United, and would love to see him back. I would think, even as critical as I have been with this 3-4-3 formation, if Martinez comes back in and he continues with this formation, I think United's results will get better. I just think that's how vital he is to Manchester United.
Yeah, because once Martinez comes back, I think there'll be no excuse for Armin to not play or to play Dalot or the Mazraoui right centre back. So it'll be Martinez, Delit, and Euro, which I think that's a good uh, back three if they can all keep fit. Hopefully, so that's the main problem. If they can keep fit, I think we'll get better results and hopefully win back-to-back games as we haven't been able to do on the Armin. So yeah, I'm just hoping, but I just don't hope. I just hope the club doesn't force or rush Martinez back. Once he's 100% fit and ready to play, then I think that's when he should play.
Yeah, he seems to be traveling to games with the squad, but he's not making the matchday squad at the moment, so they're really taking their time on that one. Um, Perhaps Sunderland might be the game to kind of blood him in, from the bench, or play the first half or something like that. And I totally agree with taking their time with this. It's it's better to wait to play him than to play him too soon and him get injured again. Um, if we take our time with this, then hopefully it gives him a better chance of having a sustained period without getting any injuries. So we shall wrap it up there. Hopefully Scott McTominay scores at the Etihad tonight, and hopefully Barcelona beat Newcastle. Um, so we're both predicting a draw against Chelsea, and
Yeah,
that doesn't really do us any favors, to be honest. We need a win. So hopefully the team can surprise us and get all 3 points against Chelsea at Old Trafford. So please, everybody, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and get your thoughts in below, and I will reply to as many of those as possible. And thanks to all the viewers and listeners for all the downloads and retweets as well. So I'll see you next time then, Orest.
yeah. Thanks for having me on, Carl. Really appreciate it. Hopefully United win on Saturday. Hopefully. And
Yeah,
Garnacho's tears live at Old Trafford.
yeah. Garnacho own goal, that would go down a treat. All right, see you later.
See you later.